From the station working for you, this is Good Morning Indiana, streaming now.
And now on Good Morning Indiana, it's Thursday morning. Let's take a quick look at your 6:30 news feed. An Indianapolis family needs your help. 15-year-old Cabrini Stott has been missing for several days. She was last seen on Monday on Village Plaza South Drive. It's near the intersection of 16th Street and Arlington Avenue on the east side. If you have any information, you should contact IMPD's Missing Persons Detective at 317-327-6541, or you can always call 911.
An Indianapolis man facing criminal charges after a person was shot while working out at a gym in Carmel. It happened early Wednesday morning at the Anytime Fitness on West Main Street near First Avenue Northwest. Carmel police say a 25-year-old man outside the gym appears to have started firing a gun at random. A man who was inside that gym was struck in the leg. Police say his injuries are not life-threatening.
The 8 National Guard sites used to collect donations for the Afghan refugees will be closing tomorrow. The Indiana Department of Homeland Security says more than 1.6 million items were donated across the state. Thank you to help the Afghan evacuees at Camp Atterbury. Because of that generosity, there's a surplus of items. As of this morning, Camp Atterbury plans to house the evacuees through January.
The Indiana Pacers flying high this morning after securing their second straight win. All 5 starters for the Pacers scored more than 15 points as the Pacers top the Knicks 122-102. Indiana will continue its homestand tomorrow night when they welcome the Dallas Mavericks to Gainbridge Fieldhouse. Tip-off for that game is set for 7 o'clock.
And next year, Indianapolis will get to have its very own music festival. Organizers and Mayor Joe Hogsett announced the program known as Wonder Road. It will take over Garfield Park on June the 11th and 12th of next year. The festival will feature 3 stages of live music and some good food. The music lineup will include Vampire Weekend, Lord Huron, Bastille, and Churches. Tickets go on sale tomorrow at 10 a.m. at wonderroadfest.com. What will be music to our ears beyond that festival is that nice warm weather coming up. But first, team, right? We got to get through Thursday.
Yeah, you know, there's a chill in the air this morning, but by this afternoon, we're turning the temperatures around. We get above normal. And from that point forward, our temperatures stay above normal for overnight lows and daytime highs. And I do think you'll like the temperatures in your 7-day planning forecast, unless you want some snow and cold temperatures, because we don't have any of that. So if you're a snow lover, you're not going to like this forecast. But everybody else probably will. 20s and 30s right now. And that's the chill that's in the air currently. The skies are starting to be overcast across the area, but visibility not an issue. There's no weather-related issues as you take to the roadways here this morning. And you can see the clouds on the satellite picture. The rain and snow is off to our west. That's going to pass us to the north. You don't have to worry about that for the day today. Now, the clouds will be around throughout much of the morning. I do think we thin them at times here throughout the day, and that'll allow our temperatures to get into the upper 40s. That puts us above normal. Tomorrow, we're into the 60s, potentially record high temperatures. The trade-off, showers and thunderstorms. More on that coming up in just a couple minutes.
All right, Todd, let's take it back out here to a view from our photographer, Shay Goodpaster. He is at this crash on the northwest side of town, 56th Street and Georgetown Road at the intersection. Now, he tells us he just spoke with police. So far, they can tell us no one was injured in this crash. So that is good news here on the northwest side of town. However, Shay also tells me Georgetown Road is blocked off at this time, and really traffic on 56th Street looks to be moving pretty slow as well as crews work this scene and investigate this crash. So just give yourself some extra time if this is part of your normal commute, and pay attention to the crews and police there at the scene. Of course, we'll continue to keep you updated on any other issues that could slow you down this Thursday. Well, it is 6:33 and a debate, Raphael, is raging between parents and school officials here in Indianapolis, and it has to do with how one school deals with students who are late.
And so, of course, we spoke to the mother of Kenyatta Turner. She attends Shortridge High School, which is, just up the street from the WRTV studios. On Tuesday, she said she was running behind and dropped off her student at 9 o'clock in the morning. About an hour later, she got a phone call from her student saying she wasn't allowed into her first class because the school said she was late. Here's what Turner told us was the school's reasoning for this situation.
We're trying to teach them adulting skills to make sure that they're on time, just like in any job. If you're late, you lose your job. So they've got to learn to be able to make sure that they come here and they're on time.
Teaching our children work ethics, or teaching them how to complete an application or to fill out a resume. It's not leaving them in a hall or a lobby area for over an hour.
Kenyatta says, according to the school's handbook policy, her daughter was not late when we reached out to IPS to get some clarification on the policy there at Shortridge. We're waiting to get that information. Of course, we also reached out to the school administrator you saw in the video. We have not heard back from the school system. Of course, we will continue to push for answers.
Time now is 6:34. We are days away from Christmas, and you're likely getting busy getting your house ready for the holiday season. And for many, that means adding a Christmas tree or two to your home. And while those trees may be beautiful, they also come with some risk. So this morning, our Kelsey Anderson is live with the tips you need to know to prevent your house from catching on fire, possibly. Kelsey, what are we looking at?
Hey, good morning, Megan. So I am an artificial tree girl. I did the real tree once. Not a fan. Too much work, too much to remember. But there are a lot of risks that come with both fake and real trees. So I'm here this morning with Tim Griffin with Carmel Fire. So talk to us about caring for that real tree.
You need to make sure that one, you're going to cut the bottom off so it's fresh, so it's absorbing that water. You need to make sure you're watering it daily. Making sure it has enough water and really monitoring it. If it starts to get too dry, then unfortunately it may be too late. So you need to make sure that it's not too dry, and then obviously you're unplugging those lights when you're not around it. You don't want to leave them plugged in. And honestly, we've talked to that, like even all of your lights throughout the house, an artificial tree, you need to make sure you're unplugging those and always checking the cords for loose ends, making sure it's not close to a fire, a fireplace or something like that. But here we're on a safe training ground.
We're training. You're a professional.
You have a fire engine with water ready to go.
I'm stepping back.
And we're going to see how this lights,
Yeah, so this has been dried out. Tim's been drying this tree out to show you just how serious things can get if a fire were to start. Let's say you have your tree too close to the fire, to your fireplace, or a candle, or a cat knocks something over. So, I mean, you can see it's taking off very quickly already. And this could be in your house. And Tim, we're here talking about this morning because we've seen this.
How quickly this tree, and it's been dried for a couple of days now. I bought it on Sunday and it was already a pretty dry tree, but you look how that's just tinder. And if that's inside your house, I mean, you look at the amount of smoke that's going to cause, all the other stuff, the gifts at the bottom. And so this could really end obviously your holidays in just a terrible way, So you want to make sure you're safe, you're watering those, and you're keeping your eye on them.
And we're talking about this today because this is something that Carmel fire departments across the state, across the country, they see these fires in real life. These things do happen.
Yes.
Everyone says, well, that won't happen to me, but it could.
210 a year of just Christmas tree fires. That doesn't go into all the other problems. You saw how dry that was, how fast it flashed. And then you got to figure all the other equipment in your house, all the other things that's going to cause. So you have to make sure that you're paying attention to your trees, and then also your lights, candles, and everything else that we have.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for being here this morning. And again, you just want to make sure that you're watering those trees, taking care of it, and looking up all of those tips on how to properly take care of a Christmas tree. If this is your first year having that real tree, or even if it's not your first year, just a good reminder every single year, since of course we don't always have Christmas trees in our houses. But for now, send it back to you guys in the studio.
Wow, Kelsey, thanks for that reminder this morning. At first glance, it may look like another business that used to be inside their building, but we'll show you why this company's owners say that they have more body and depth, and they hope their lingering profile will age well downtown. That story and more coming right up.
So this is about challenging perspectives of what you think you like and then stepping out of your own comfort zone. A new type of business right here in downtown Indianapolis brings the stories behind wine and spirits all to life. Love it already.
Yeah, it's really interesting. So through the dust of that construction on Delaware Street, I found this local business that could help you check some unique Christmas items off your list.
This is something that's totally unique.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Inside this historic building, just steps off Delaware Street, in a space once home to Rebar, a company with a new concept makes its home.
We're a tasting bar, we're not a traditional tavern.
Managed by two gentlemen who are wine and spirits enthusiasts. Simon O'Grady, whose roots trace back to England, and Dennis Lynch, an Irishman.
I'm from Cork in Ireland. I managed bars and restaurants over there, but never anything like this.
From about 1990 onwards, I've been interested in, enthusiastic about all kinds of quality wines, spirits.
Storied Company, a tasting bar and retail space unlike anything in the area.
It's not a place for somebody to come in and have a cocktail or a glass of wine or a beer. It's a It's a bar that you can come in and essentially get one item, which is our sampling. A little bit minty.
Where they say a nominal fee of $10 buys you 5 pours to sample any items on their shelves, no matter the bottle price, breaking a cost-prohibitive barrier to try something different. While a neat pour of one single malt Scotch whiskey at a restaurant could cost you $20, $30, even more dollars.
The Glenallachie.
Here, the sampling of 5, it's always $10 to taste.
What we like to do here is taste people on new products, things that they may never have tried.
Perhaps learn a little bit more, perhaps expand their horizons.
Storied Company is a place where flavor profiles and textures of a Cabernet are just as important as learning about the region the grapes are grown and the producers themselves.
It's smaller producers and really kind of focus on telling the stories and the people who make the products.
But starting a new business in the middle of the pandemic this past June has not been their biggest hurdle. It's this.
It's been a challenge. It's been a challenge for sure.
Delaware Street, where their storefront since has been the site of ongoing roadwork and closures. Right now, there's not even pavement steps from their door. And finding parking and walking to Storied Company is a tale in itself.
Traffic jams and just people getting into the city and getting around is our biggest challenge.
But Dennis and Simon say Storied Company is a destination, attracting whiskey and wine connoisseurs from even out of the state.
This is a business that really will build by word of mouth, and as people come in and get excited, they'll tell other people, and I feel that we're at the beginning stages of this really starting to grow.
Well, they tell me one key to their success in surviving that construction headache is their growing email list. They try to taste everything that they sell, and when they find something outstanding at a fair price, they shoot out an email to all their customers. They say those products often sell out within hours of the email going out. If you want to learn more about Storied Company and how to plan your visit, just visit this story on our website, WRTV.com.
Very interesting. Well, if you think product shortages are a new thing, we don't mean to sound like a broken record, but think again. Next, it's Throwback Thursday with the story of one shortage that meant Raphael wasn't getting that crystal clear sound while listening to Miami Sound Machine. All right.
Get on your feet, Todd. The rhythm is going to get you. Do a little conga. Hey.
All right, Todd.
All right, we got 60s returning to the forecast. Not today, but tomorrow. But with the warmth that comes this September or December storms, rather, with some gusty winds of change as temperatures are going to be going back and forth. We'll break it all down for you coming up when Good Morning Indiana continues.
It's time for Throwback Thursday, and if you think supply chain problems are a new thing, we'd like you to walk this way back in time to when one shortage made every day a Manic Monday for music fans.
All right, so the year was 1986, and if you were living in America, you had started dancing on the ceiling to music on compact discs instead of living on a prayer that your cassette tapes wouldn't get eaten by your boombox.
Do you know what a cassette is?
Yes, I had cassettes.
I was checking. 1986 was a long time ago. So having a crystal clear recording of Gloria Estefan could make you feel like a bad boy. That is, if you could find one. Some music stores back in 1986 say the number of CDs they had to sell were falling, of course, into the danger zone. It's because CDs seem to tell consumers, take me home tonight, and they were. Now, former WRTV reporter Gary Digg found the demand for CDs was keeping one Hoosier factory alive and kicking.
This Sony plant in Terre Haute is the only CD manufacturing operation in the country. It started producing about 300,000 discs a month back in 1984. It's now pumping out about 3 million. By the end of next year, should be making 5 to 6 million CDs every month. Right now, Sony can't make the discs fast enough to keep up with demand.
And by the way, when it comes to musical taste, of course, we're only human. While you can still find CDs these days, most of us stream our music, and Sony stopped making CDs at the Terre Haute facility back in 2018. You can read more of this story right now at WRTV.com/history. We share these stories with you because That's what friends are for. Look at that little Dionne Warwick on a Thursday. Time to check your forecast at 6:48. Hey, Todd Claus.
Yeah, it's a chilly start to our day here across the area on this Thursday, but not as cold as it has been. That's the good news. We're kind of turning the table on the temperatures here, and we're going to start to run well above normal in the coming days. But our weather pattern is going to turn very active. 20s and 30s here this morning as you get going. Bundle up a little bit, but as we go throughout the day, temperatures get above normal. And today's a pretty quiet weather day before a very active day tomorrow. So we'll kind of slide through your Thursday pretty quickly here. Mid-40s here in northern locations today for your high temperatures, right around 50 degrees in the central portion of the state. And you can pick your hometown here, Martinsville 53, 49 in Newcastle. Keeping in mind our normal high temperature now this time of year is 42, so we're running well above normal today with a high about 56 in Seymour, Bedford, right around 55 degrees. Now the clouds are in place already this morning, and I do think we'll thin the clouds out at times here throughout the afternoon hours, but it's never a completely sunny day for us, but we're dry. That's the good news. This rain and snow is going to bypass us to the north, so you don't have to worry about that. Now, once our temperatures get into the 40s, and for some of you the 50s, we stay there throughout the evening hours and overnight. So there's no big drop off with temperatures as we work our way into the day on Friday, and that's because the winds turn southerly and the clouds stay in place, and eventually those clouds will start to produce rain during the day tomorrow. The morning hours are fine. It's a hit or miss shower throughout the early afternoon hours, and then the rain becomes more widespread as we work our way into the course of the evening hours. So let's walk you through Friday. Again, you wake to temperatures in the 40s, and then you walk out the door to temperatures in the mid-50s as we get into the afternoon hours. But our high temperatures tomorrow are going to occur as we get into the evening hours. That's when we climb into the 60s, with the rain becoming more widespread throughout the afternoon. It's a little spotty throughout the evening hours, but then watch what happens as we head into the overnight hours. Here we are, 1:30 Saturday morning. We're starting to get into some thunderstorms, and look at the temperatures, potentially record highs early Saturday morning before the temperatures come crashing down once the cold front goes through. But there could be some really heavy rain and the potential for some localized flooding as we get into a Saturday morning. So tomorrow is probably going to be a WRTV Storm Team alert day that'll carry into Saturday morning as well. And then the rest of Saturday will be pretty dry, but the temperatures will fall. Your highs very early in the morning and then throughout the afternoon hours on Saturday. Here we are at 12 o'clock. 50s and the 40s are invading central Indiana as well. So those temperatures will fall as a result of the wind change that'll take place. Out ahead of the front, some wind gusts tomorrow, anywhere from 35 to 40 miles per hour. Very, very gusty, and that's why there could be a few severe thunderstorm warnings out there. Probably not for any hail, not tornadoes, but just for those wind gusts that'll be out there very strong Friday night into early Saturday morning. So the worst of it's probably definitely early Saturday. But once we get past Saturday, even behind that cold front, it's not bad. Quiet weather Sunday through Wednesday with temperatures in the 50s, and even, Lauren, by next Wednesday, up into the 60s.
All right, Todd, we are looking forward to that. Right now on your roads here on the northwest side, we are still monitoring this crash cleanup here along Georgetown Road and 56th Street. This is a live look from our photographer, Shay Goodpaster. He tells us they do have this one vehicle here up on a wrecker. They're still working to clear the scene. Looks like the other one's going up as well. So hopefully this area opens back up soon as we're getting into your rush hour. Right now, traffic is still getting by in that intersection. Just give crews plenty of space and pay attention. We're back with your top stories on the other side of the break.
From the station working for you, this is Good Morning Indiana, streaming now.
It is 6:55 on Good Morning Indiana. Before you head out the door, these are your top stories for your Thursday.
Let's get started. The surge in COVID-19 cases continues in our state. It's reflected in the latest county metrics map that you see there from the Indiana Department of Health. This morning, it paints a clear picture of how the virus is currently impacting our state. Half of Indiana's 92 counties are now, as you can see, in the red status because of the increase in new cases and the positivity rate. A large number of those red counties are in northern Indiana.
Students and staff members in Avon schools are once again required to wear face masks indoors. The new requirement comes as Hendricks County remains in the red category for the second straight week. The new face mask requirement follows the school district's COVID-19 protocols. State health officials report Hendricks County's positivity rate is nearly 16%.
The man accused accused of shooting a Clay County deputy last week, now faces formal charges. The shooting happened last week south of Clay City. Investigators say they got a tip that the suspect, Joe Hoffman, was staying in a tent near the Eel River. Hoffman is accused of firing one shot, hitting Sergeant Brinson Swearingen in the leg. Hoffman is now being held at the Putnam County Jail.
On the nation's capital, the U.S. Senate passed a resolution to block the Biden administration's COVID-19 vaccine mandate for large private employers. The resolution was sponsored by Indiana Republican Senator Mike Braun, but it will likely just end up being a symbolic effort. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi says she has no plans to schedule a vote on the bill in the House chamber. As you head outside this morning, you're going to feel that nice, cool breeze, Todd Clausen.
Yeah, you know, it's cold this morning, Raphael, but it's the coldest morning we have here going forward in our extended forecast. So that's the good news. And your high today gets up to 50 degrees. Now, tomorrow's really mild. Your high on Friday, though, occurs pretty late in the day. It's after sunset. Keep that in mind as the rain moves in. So with the rain comes the warmth. Stormy early Saturday morning and then quiet Sunday through Wednesday with temperatures that'll be running at or above normal all 4 of those days, including back into the 60s on Wednesday.
We're back in 25 minutes and throughout Good Morning America with the latest news, weather, and traffic updates for you.
And of course, everything you need to know can be found throughout your day on the WRTV mobile app. Want to thank you for joining us here on this Thursday morning. Have a good one.